Servus YouTube, Chef here, back with yet another build, this time Rogue. We are centered around Slayer'S Flurry, stacking attack speed, since this is one of the few skills that actually benefits from having more attack speed. We have to use a dagger to be able to use the Slayer'S Flurry skill, and we are pairing that with a catalyst to gain access to the powerful passive residual energy. In total we are stacking this passive 4 times because we can roll that on our gear as well. Proccing all of them by using Winter's Grasp because it is instant cast speed and it gives us CC. The other 3 skills are Sovereign Shard for additional attack speed and more CC, Warpath for quick travel, AoE clearing and another stun, and Wings of Ishmir for boss burst damage and even more stun. We pick up Appetite for Bloodshed for Rage Sustain. Alternative, you could also use a Bloodlust Helmet, but you're gonna miss out on quite a lot of damage because the percentage gain from unspent Rage affix is extremely potent. As always, let's go over everything in detail in the items, skills, attributes and passive sections. Items. We have to use dagger, preferably with 3 flat damage rolls, crit damage and 3 sockets. Then our other 3 residual energy buffs come from our 2 rings and an act unique. On all of our accessories we want flat damage to attacks and crit damage. On our gloves and shoulders increased material damage and more all resist. Chest and helmet with their 9% damage per unspent reach and all resistance. Pants with transfer time reduction between willpower and rage. Boots we use the unique ones with agility for more attack speed. If you want to be tankier, grab the ones with all resistance. And lastly, in gem slots in offensive we use Aetheryte, defensive slots we use Silverstone and support Silverstone as well. The reason why I'm not using Topaz in support is because the 40 attribute we get from Silverstone is more damage than 20 ferocity. If you're liking a crit chance, feel free to swap some out for Topaz. Skills. Our main damage dealer, Slayer'S Flurry with full-out blades for even more zooming around, Crushing Moon for AoE, Super Dense Metal, Flashing Blades and Final Eclipse for more damage. If you find yourself dying a lot, then you can use Cosmic Ambush to avoid damage. Winter's Grasp with Hail the Ice Queen for another flat damage buff, Immortalized Perfection for increased CC duration, Ice Pawn to be able to cast it more often, and Rhyme World for increased AoE. We're not picking up Admire from a distance this time, since this is a melee build and we do not need the range. I usually never use Sovereign Shard because of the long animation on it, but we pick it up since attack speed has an actual effect on Slayer'S Flurry's DPS. We use Infectious Determination for increased uptime, Hostile Inspiration to enhance the buff from the skill. Keep in mind that this does not affect the modifier buff Hail the Ice Queen from Winter's Grasp. Hold the line for all resistance and Conquer of Will for a stun. Warpath with Forge a Path for quick travel, Full Frontal Slam for another stun, Break the Line and Overwhelming Impact to help us clear. And our final skill, Wings of Ishmir with Relentless Pursuit for boss burst down, Rippling Impact to help us clear, and Bird of Prey for even more CC. Attributes. One of the few builds where I don't go full ferocity. I get as many points here to reach 30% crit chance. After that, everything into agility. If you feel squishy, invest points into toughness as needed. Passives. We are coming through the soldier tree, picking up the wildcard. Since we don't go full ferocity, crit chance is alright to get. Down to Merciless Lethality in the assassin tree. Because crit multi is amazing, the minus 30% is additive, not multiplicative, which means it's taken from our base damage and crit multiplier applies to our total damage, so it outweighs the negatives heavily. Coming over to the Praetorian, grabbing crit damage here and here, because crit multi is awesome. Making our way up through the Scholar, picking up more maximum reach here. Into the Warlock tree, getting a huge damage buff through residual energy. For the second part of the tree we go through the Sentinel, picking up backline Raider since attack speed is actually useful in this build. Going into the Warmonger for a decent damage buff with Manic Slaughter, and Reach Sustain from Appetite for Bloodshed. And there you go, a super fun and fast build. I always enjoyed that kind of playstyles. I was a huge fan back in the day with Sealer Pally. So try it out for yourself, tell me what you think, leave a like and subscribe for more Wolcen content in the future. I'm live every single day over on Twitch, 10 PM Central European Summertime, right as this build goes up. And as always, I'll leave you with more gameplay. Servus, YouTube.